Love you, baby. You're beautiful.
A couple of years, things may change when all the kids grow up and start wearing ties and going to the polls.
You ever have that feeling where you're not sure if you're awake or still dreaming?
Any member of the police department who has allowed himself to get out of condition will either get back into condition or be weeded out.
There's a lot going to happen here. You're going to see the deputy get involved at the direction of a staff member to handle the sign at the bottom of your screen that hurts their feelings. If you listen to what's being said in the background, though, you're going to hear the instructions for public comment being read by a county commissioner. If you listen carefully, you're going to find that YouTube content policies are now helping to dictate how the county handles public comment in a quintessential public forum.
I do have some instructions for public comment to get us started. Before I read through those, just want to briefly address that last week's actually, I'm sorry, it was 2 weeks ago now, which would have been, the date is escaping me, July 6th, I believe. Our meeting had been uploaded, our recorded meeting had been uploaded onto YouTube and was removed by YouTube for violation of their content policies by the next day. It is now available again after our staff went through an appeal process and communicated further with YouTube. But just wanted to put that on the record and note that we've updated our comments, our instructions for general public comment a bit about that. And also just want to give space if either commissioners have any thing to add to that or any details that I may have missed from discussions with staff. Okay. So I will just offer some instructions for public comment before we kick off our meeting. Each action item on the agenda will offer an opportunity for relevant public comment about that topic. We ask that you wait until the agenda item that you're here for comes up for discussion. Additionally, near the start of our meeting, we will invite folks to provide general public comment to the commission, which is a time for addressing issues not on today's agenda, but related to general county business. Just making sure that we didn't have any issues with it doesn't work. The box for sharing here for a moment. Sorry for the interruption.
I'm asking nicely. Why you gotta be a jerk about it?
All public comments should be directed to the county commission. The public should also note that comments received by the commission during our meetings do not represent the views of the county government. And if deemed to be necessary in the future, we may direct staff to not record public comments out of concern for YouTube's content policies. The goal being that all meetings remain as accessible as possible to our public.
There's two of us in the room. My name's Michael Lawrence, Accountability. I didn't address this last week because I didn't have the full story. As I came in the room last week, there was a commotion happening at the front here.
For addressing issues not on today's agenda, but related to general county business. Just making sure that we didn't have any.
As I got out my camera and start to film that commotion, suddenly it ended.
Do not represent the views of the county government. And if
what I found out that ended up happening there, this is the second time that I personally have witnessed leaders in this county putting our deputies in untenable positions, asking them to enforce laws that they cannot enforce. Somebody in this room sent a deputy to the front rail to move a sign or to expect that a citizen would move a sign. It's a violation. You can't do that. He didn't have to move his sign. That same deputy at one point was sent out to the law enforcement center out front here to arrest me one night because I was out there with a camera. We hope that you guys were kind of hoping things would change here too.
I mean, I'm hoping things do change, but per the order of the sheriff, that's what we were told to do.
Okay.
So you're telling me we are being trespassed off of public property?
Being trespassed from the courthouse property, yes.
This is public property, you're aware of that, correct?
Yes, you can be on public property if you have a legal reason to be here. Okay, and if you don't have a legal reason to be here at the courthouse, then you don't need to be on the property. They're going to issue you a trespass warning per authority of the sheriff.
This county is extremely lucky that our deputies know the laws better than their leaders do. Because the Lawrence Police Department would follow through with those acts and get themselves into trouble. That's what we've seen.
Video all you want, get everything you can. That's what I'm doing, so I expect you to do the same. Do you need something? Because you know, what I'm working on, see, is getting this to legal, see if we can get harassment, stalking, anything that's arrestable would be a good idea. You think that would be a good idea? I think it'd be wonderful. And then we could help each other out.
So I'm going to ask that this county reevaluate what they're directing these deputies to do. And I'm talking about the Douglas County Sheriff Department leadership as well. I've lodged a complaint with the department this week about 2 members of their brass over the way things were handled. And I've now been given emails that show this. There was a colluded effort between LPD and Douglas County to violate civil rights. And they involved deputies in that scheme to do that. And fortunately for us, those deputies knew what they were about to do couldn't happen legally. And they refrained from doing that. And they're probably one of the few law enforcement officers that I've ever had somewhat of a negative interaction with that I continue to praise to this day, because they knew the law. The person that asked them to do that in here needs to be taught what our rights are. And anybody that has an ability to direct these deputies to do something needs to understand what our rights are and what the limitations of what you can ask those deputies to do.
I can't